Hey, what's good everybody? It's your boy DJ Phanatic at DJPhanaticBeats.com. Welcome to a very special video. Thank you for joining me. This is basically a background origin video of basically how I became DJ Phanatic, how I became a producer, DJ, how I got involved into music, how I became who I am today. And hopefully I keep it short, not long-winded, and kind of take you on a little journey about where I came from. So especially if you never heard about me or you have no idea what I've been through or whatever musically. So anyway, I remember way back, like when I was born anyway. I was born in New York, Bronx, New York. Shout out to any New Yorkers or anyone in the East Coast or whatever. I was born around the time when hip-hop, you know, was really taking off, like first started really. And I remember seeing like b-boys dancing all the time in the street, and my parents, man, they used to push me in a stroller with like a little boombox radio on the stroller. And I really think like those early days, like of me being around that element, affected me like on a subconscious level, like a really powerful level. To this day, you know, it kind of, when I think back, it like took me from that starting point through my whole life loving music. So, you know, we're in New York, you know, my parents are pretty young. I think that also played a part on it too, because they're always like into what was hot, into what was hip at the time. And that kind of connected with me as well, because, you know, there's just so much energy, so much power and creativity at that time, and also, I mean, throughout all time, but it was so focused in that specific region. And you see what happened today, you know, to this day, like what hip-hop has done for people living off of it, you know, cultures, commercials, they play hip-hop music. You got hip-hop music through NFL, NBA, you know, there's different people. I mean, it affected the world, and being that it came from that one area and I was there, it's very special to me. So I'm proud to hold that badge. But we didn't stay in New York. My dad actually joined the military early at, like, I think fresh out of high school. He went to basic training, and we actually moved out of New York. Of course, we visited there throughout the years to see family and, you know, holidays, stuff like that. But we moved out, and basically, you know, like, what do you call it? We got to see other countries, other states, got to travel the world basically and see different cultures. You know, I was affected differently musically with different areas or whatever. So he went in the military, we moved a lot, and I remember landing in Virginia, Southern Virginia, and that was like early on in elementary. You know, I was a kid with so much energy. I mean, I still am. I don't know how I stay awake for so long. I don't know how I do so many things in one day. I've just always been that guy that just keeps going. And like, let's see, elementary, like the first thing that really, I mean, of course I loved PE, physical education, recess. Most kids like recess. I played kickball, played all kinds of sports. I was playing softball all the time. You know, up into high school, I played like football, basketball. I even did some boxing, you know, of course track. I was like, I held a bunch of records throughout middle school and high school for, you know, fastest guy in the school and all that. So anyway, yeah, and football was amazing. I was a beast, man. I might have been a short guy, but they couldn't catch me and they couldn't tackle me because I was strong as hell. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, man. A great journey. And I could bore you to death or give you minor stories about, you know, every sport that I did. But one thing that helped me harness that energy, that helped me hone it in and helped me focus, was music. I remember in elementary school, like the first thing that really got my attention musically. Of course, you know, music was there as I grew up early, like as a baby, you know, up until elementary school, where I think it's, I don't know what the age is or whatever, maybe 5 or 6, I believe. But in elementary, I took a recorder class. If you don't know what a recorder is, it's kind of like a flute. I know I'm dating myself, but it's all good. It's kind of like a flute, and it's plastic. They didn't give us, well, the ones we have are plastic, and you can basically make notes by plugging the holes on the instrument. And we were reading music at the time. That was when music, like staff sheets, reading music was introduced to me as a child. And I was really fascinated with it, to make these sounds while looking at this page and kind of connecting with what was on that staff music, and learning notes and notations, little things like that. And that was my favorite class for a long time. I always looked forward to it. I was there early and I was there late, you know, practicing my little recorder. And I guess the teacher found something special in me at the time, because she actually approached me and said, Jamel, would you like to write your own song? You know what I mean? And I was like, what? With the recorder? No, I want you to sing it. I was like, you want me to sing in front of the class? Yeah, she wasn't holding anything back. She said, no, we're having a performance and I want you to sing in front of the school. The school, mind you, was like 5,000 students. It was a very, very large school. And basically, I said yeah. I was excited. It was in front of the students, in front of faculty. Parents were welcome. It was massive. And my mother didn't know the stress I had up until that point, because it was several months that went by. I kept writing. I was writing. I wrote my first song. I'm just writing and writing, and you know, I wasn't thinking about, of course, back then, copywriting and publishing and all that, or PROs. I'm like, I'm writing this song, and the song is called Feelings, by the way. And I had like these other kids up there on stage making the faces as I would say certain feelings in the chorus. I remember that. And I actually remember the funny outfit I wore too. And anyway, my mom didn't know the magnitude of it, because I get up on stage, right? She thinks it's like a bunch of kids on stage singing choir or whatever. She didn't know I was singing lead. So all of a sudden, you know, I walk out there with this microphone and this big old stage. The stage was massive, and only 3 other kids up there in front of all these people, and the piano starts playing and I just start singing. And actually I got a lot of love from this performance, because the crowd received it well, and I made a lot of friends after that. And especially, you know, my mom went crazy and was trying to get me on different shows and stuff, and at the time it was Star Search. So anyway, I really connected with music then as well. And that was in elementary, very early on. So after that, you know, I traveled some more. Of course, I did so much, man. I did like a bunch of different choirs in different schools. Let's see, high school, I actually picked up DJing in high school. So after elementary school and after that whole song thing, I realized I was kind of basically trying to find myself in music. You know, am I gonna be a singer or artist, or am I gonna be, you know, a musician because I played an instrument, I can read music? And I'm kind of picking up these skills, these talents as I was going along. And you know, high school came about. And what's crazy about high school, I still was visiting back to New York and whatnot, and I had my friends and my cousin's friends, basically, they were DJs. And I always admired DJs. And DJs were, back then, man, were everything. And I always wanted that feeling of being a person to play the music. And I loved music so much, I always wanted to hear what other artists were doing, what other producers were doing. It was very powerful. So anytime I was in New York, I was just copping mixtapes, those exclusive tapes that had, you know, just crazy mixes on, dope scratches, great artists. It was insane. The energy, the creative energy was crazy. And it was a lot. So basically going to New York and coming back to wherever I was at the time. Every time I went to New York, I would buy some records. And I remember in high school, I actually started picking up DJing. So I was around 15, 16. And that's all I wanted to do is DJ. But of course, you know, through school, I was like, man. In middle school, I picked up the trumpet, the trombone. I pretty much stayed with, oh yeah, and then I moved to the baritone, which they also call the euphonium, excuse me. They're brass instruments if you're not familiar with it. But yeah, I used those instruments. I played those instruments and learned more advanced music to read during middle school. So after that, I moved, man, where was I living at the time? Because I don't want to get you lost and say all these places, but anyway, I know in Italy is where I started DJing, really. I started DJing the high school parties, the dances, and also like the little functions we had after school or at the community rec center that we had. And that was kind of like my big break, because like 2 whole summers, you know, I didn't have any equipment. I didn't have any money. We weren't well off. And I mean, everyone thinks that military families make a lot of money. We were a little below average, I think. Not that I think that, but it doesn't, money, I mean, we still managed well, and my parents did really well and took care of us. But they didn't have money for equipment, and equipment was expensive. And I was so devoted to being a DJ, devoted to music, that I saved my lunch money. I saved lunch money for basically almost 2 whole summers, to be honest. And I remember days just being hungry, like not being able to eat lunch and waiting till dinner time and just scuffing all my food down at dinner, because obviously that was free. My parents would cook or whatever. But I would go all day without eating because I was that focused to putting money away in my little, I had this plastic pail I would put it in, and I would look through catalogs of equipment. I'd be like, okay, I already knew I was gonna buy years in advance. I already knew. So that was my first turntable. I bought a Technics. Actually, I think it's right over here. That's crazy. I still have the same turntable I bought. Of course, I had some maintenance on it and whatnot for all those years, and it still runs. So I bought my first turntable, and I bought a mixer. It was a DJ mixer, the DJ Jazzy Jeff signature mixer by Gemini. It had his like signature on it. It had like the wood side on the panel and like this old school retro faders and whatnot. I worked the hell out of that fader because I eventually ended up breaking because I practiced so much. It was hours, like after school, after work was done, after homework was done, I was able to, you know, practice. I practiced after school, after homework, and all weekend if I had the time or whatever. So I was devoted to being a DJ, and putting all that effort and energy into it, you know, definitely helped me hone in on the skill of being a DJ. And I think just sharpening my skills, someone asked me, yo, you need to DJ our parties in high school. And I'm like, you know, in high school is tough, man, because we had fights in there all the time, man. But we also had a lot of support there too. It was a very special group, and there's a lot of students, man. I don't know how many students in that high school at the time, my first high school. But anyway, I ended up doing high school dances. I don't want to get too winded. So here I am begging my dad to help me carry all these speakers and sound system to school. And I remember I didn't even have my second turntable yet. So what I used to do, check this out. I used to bring in this old school tape deck, right? Yes, a tape deck. And I would have this little Discman. I don't know if you remember the Discman. And I would have one turntable. So I would hook all this up, right? And I had this hand-me-down amplifier. I bought it at a yard sale, like for 20 bucks. But it still made sound go. The speakers I used, I remember the brand. They were Sanyos. And it actually had duct tape on the side. It's crazy remembering this. It had duct tape on the side because I used to play them so loud. the wood paneling would kind of shake off the frame. So, but never blew the woofers. They just kept going, man. Whatever I threw at it, those speakers spit it right out. They're hitting hard, but the actual structure couldn't hold the power. So I had duct tape on the side of it. Basically, I was roughing it, but nobody could see that in the dark though. During the school dances, all they doing is, you know, dancing on the girls and trying to do the hottest dances and whatnot. And I was a great dancer, by the way, but I don't dance like I used to because, you know, that era is over. But it's funny being like one of the best dancers playing all the music but not being able to dance. That's crazy now that I think about it. So anyway, the high school dances come. The first dance was crazy. I was really nervous, but I had my sequence ready. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start out with this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. See, I'm becoming, I'm orchestrating an event. You know, I'm there early. You know, I see people come in, you know, you got horrible cologne on, you know, the cheap stuff that high schoolers afford or whatever. They ready to dance, ready to meet with girls, ready to, you know, whatever. And it's a big deal for me. So I'm DJing, playing song after song. Got the place packed, man. Everybody is just having a ball. And basically DJing for 4 years. Well, 3 years at that high school for free. And that one dance turned into like doing every dance for the high school, and it was awesome. And also for other stuff, you know, outside of that, because I always loved music that much. Even though I only had like 3 records, I would just practice. Even when I had 1 record, I would just practice scratching it. I remember discovering mixing, you know, on accident, and like beat matching on accident. I was like, yeah. And then I just kept learning how to count bars, and then I, you know, became better at learning keys and scales, and I don't know, just keep doing it over and over. I just became definitely a master at DJing, and there's always room to grow. There's still things I can learn, but I became a master at DJing, and I'm grateful for that. And that explains, you can't see any of it in the shot. There's a couple records here you can see, but yeah, bear with me. See, there's some more. Okay, there is a whole rack of them. Hopefully I'll stay in focus. Cool. So yeah, so after high school, I went to college actually on a music scholarship. I got accepted with a music scholarship. I was playing tuba at the time and baritone, and they gave me a music scholarship. I joined a marching band. In college, I also DJ'd like crazy, and that's how I got my DJ name, Phanatic. One day, I think it was freshman year, somebody was asking me, yo, I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you go to class and you're able to do all these parties? I don't know how I did it either. Like, sometimes I'll have an 8 o'clock class the next morning, but DJ all the way up to 5 in the morning. I was just so devoted to being the hottest DJ out there. There's a lot of really great DJs at the time. I didn't have many connections though. I would just wing it and see where's the party at and just do it for free. I didn't care, you know. And actually DJ Envy was there at the time, and a couple other DJs that were really dope. So anyway, college I did outside of DJing. Under my music engineering degree, I went to school for. I got guitar lessons, piano lessons. I was in university choir, concert choir. I did recitals where you stand up by yourself in front of faculty and staff and students, and I was singing in Italian, I was singing in German. I did all kinds of awesome, you know, performance stuff. I even sung like backup for one of the professors there. Rest in peace, brother. So anyway, I had a great journey musically through college. I don't even know how I graduated because it was just a lot of content and stuff that I was doing, especially with the marching band, because the marching band traveled every other week, and you're out of town doing tours and stuff, and the choir is doing tours. So I'm picking up all this musical skill and abilities, and I think it contributes greatly to my production, you know. And I remember someone was like, yo, I don't know how you do that. And he was like, you must be a fanatic. And I was like, you're right. I'm a fanatic of music. I love music, and music loves me. And if I didn't have music, I don't know where I'd be. So that's how that name kind of stuck. I got it in college. I was like, yeah, yes, I am a fanatic. And my dog thinks so too as well. So college, let's see. That's when I actually first bought my first piece of equipment. It's funny that I think now I did the same thing I did in high school. I would save up for studio equipment, you know. It's crazy because I had that same devoted energy, and it's actually in the shot on this side. The first piece of studio equipment that I got is the Ensoniq ASR 10, which is the rack mount version, but I believe Timbaland started on it, and I was really excited to buy what he had, which broke my pockets like crazy. I think I saved insanely. I don't know, I wasn't making that much. I had a part-time job and I was paying for college mostly by myself. You know, I was in debt, but I still wanted that piece of equipment because I knew that I could make something dope with it if he can make something dope with it. And shout out to Timbaland too. So I got that piece of equipment and I put it like on a speaker, and I was able to kind of dabble with it and learn the system a little bit. And I made some dope beats too. I gotta find those beats actually, so I can share them with y'all if I can find the floppy drives that go with it. So yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, that was my first piece of studio equipment. But as I jump back to that, before DJing, I had people tell me I couldn't be a DJ. They're like, you're too nice, you're too cool, you can't be a DJ, like you're too quiet. And I took that fuel and just kept practicing, and it turned into me doing all the parties for school. And also, I forgot to mention, even the adults got wind of my talents, and I ended up being DJing at nightclubs. You know, like, this is during high school when I was illegal. I wasn't even allowed to be in these clubs, but they had me DJing in them. Isn't that crazy? So that showed how good I was getting. I was like, yo, all these people trying to get me to DJ in these clubs and stuff, it was crazy. So I rocked the clubs, you know, I did so many other events, I lost count, you know, corporate party stuff, weddings, birthdays, celebrity meet and greets, whatever. I did anything under the sun, trust me, DJing wise. Yeah, I did a lot. So now jumping back to college, I kept that momentum going, nightclubs. We did this pajama jam thing. You know, a lot of celebrities were coming into colleges because they had to do that little tour and make that money. So anyway, I DJ'd all through everything. So saving up for that first piece of equipment. And I remember staying at the campus studio a lot too, because that was my element. I knew after I mastered the DJing thing, I mean, I thought I'll be like a radio DJ or go on like a huge tour with an artist as a DJ, but that never really happened. I mean, I DJ'd on a few radio stations and also campus radio, but I didn't do it consistently. I was like a guest that would pop up. Yo, it's Phanatic. Oh, he's crazy. All right, on to the next. So the next thing I was focusing on was being a producer. And these are the stages I kind of went through in my life now that I think about it. And I've been a producer now for more than 10 years since college, but I wasn't as serious with it as I am the last three to 4 years. So yeah, during college I got that first piece of equipment, and I would stay in the campus studio. They had beautiful equipment, all types of stuff. And I would sign my name up. There's a sign-in sheet. I would sign like a lot. When anyone, like, I would sign my regular time, but if no one didn't fill up the other spots, I would take their time. I would call them up. I'm like, yo, you need your slot? No? Bet. I'm taking it. I would miss classes, you know, being in that studio, just trying to create. I took my whole ASR 10, which is like, it's pretty heavy, and I brought it to that campus, put it in the rack mount, and made beats in there because it had some really nice monitors in there. And I would also intern at studios. And, you know, I just knew that being in that element, the thing that I love, would help me connect the dots, you know, and help improve who I was as a producer, and also like run into like artists and other producers and like-minded people that wanted to succeed. So so yeah, that was pretty much college, man. I became a producer in college, but I had a lot of other things going on, like actually trying to graduate. I had a lot of expenses. Like I was so in debt then, you know, paying college and paying rent and all kinds of stuff. But it was a beautiful struggle, you know what I mean? It was a great journey. So after college, I finally graduated. You know, I actually transferred from there up to here, and I finally graduated with an audio production degree, so awesome. And after that, you know, I fell into the working world. You know, I got a 9-to-5, you know. Initially I was working for one place, then went to another place. But all through that, you know, I was still making music. I really didn't have a big presence online. I wasn't really doing the online thing because I wasn't so hip to it. And now it's a lot different, but I'm a lot more aware of, you know, social media, doing videos, YouTube and all that. But thus, that's why you see me here. So, you know, that's pretty much my journey. After college, I continued the 9-to-5 thing, doing music on the side, but it has shifted mostly. It turned into me doing music more often now. I mean, more often, it's like crazy now. Currently, you know, I hate talking about accolades because I like the music to speak for itself, but I went from people telling me that you can't make music, you can't be an entrepreneur, oh that doesn't pay, to, you know, it does paying eventually. Currently, you know, I make music for TV film, which is awesome. Years back I did get selected to be on Common's mixtape, which is awesome. I got collaborations with, you know, a lot of really dope producers. Yeah, it's crazy, man. With DJ Pain 1, I did a couple collabs with him. Kato on the track, did collab with him. Dream Life Beats, did collab with him. Cash Money AP, did a collab with him. You know, and shout out to the whole, you know, BeatStars fam, and you know, it's awesome, man. So to see where I came from to not being the quiet, nice guy in the studio just making stuff for himself to being here with you. So thank you for joining me on this video. Sorry that it's super long, but if you stayed to the end, you're super dope. And basically, I want to see you win as an artist. You know, you succeed, we succeed, and I want you to live doing what you love. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to have to like go through life not loving life, you know, doing what you love. So it's nothing like doing what you love and getting paid for it and living your dreams and not like settling or having regret that you didn't take those steps or that effort to do those things. That's why I'm here, to make dope music and to leave a legacy. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for joining me again. And yeah, I'm still filming. That's cool because I thought I talked so much that the camera stopped. But anyway, yeah, let's get it. Let's make something special. Let's leave a mark on this world with music. And there's no telling where this music can go. You know, radio, Billboard, Grammys, in movies, in commercials, anywhere. So, thanks for joining me. I'll check you out in the next video or on the next song. Peace and love.